Welcome to CROM Update number 36 with David Molina, who I am working with on a short story that's going to go into the follow-up anthology book called CROM Anthology after we get this kid published, which is days away. We're recording right now on the 20th of July. And August 1st, this will go on to cromthebarbarian.com for sale with five other covers that I reached out. This is David Molina's virgin cover for CROM the Barbarian Collected 2024 Revised Edition. Only going to be available for 1 month from me, and then afterwards, based on the success of the 1 month of releasing and promoting and getting it out there, copies will be available through David Molina. Drawn Sword is another, he's New Zealand. And then we've got Jason Schoonover, Adam Dodds, and the Ken Landgraf. I'm just in the process. As a matter of fact, files are right now uploading to Lulu for another fresh final proof, if you will. Before we go to press, but we've had some really good feedback from everybody. As a matter of fact, 2 episodes ago, Drawn Sword and I sat down finally. And man, did he give me some really sweet things. I'll even tease it out. Where'd it go? Here it is. So I've been struggling with the R in CROM. And you'll notice here, It looks like a K. And Drawn Sword brings it up and he says, well, you got enough room under... I mean, he literally was looking at this space. I never even looked at this space. He goes, you actually have it too high. He goes, you should bring it down and it'll cut right through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, my God, yeah. So literally coming in right at the end with feedback I asked from all the comic book artists. But we are talking about The Last Dryad, which is a short story based on a short story, pulp-wise, from 1960 by a gentleman by the name of Joseph Kelleam. And we have already made a couple of videos where we've laid out. David's even done some character sketches for our 2 rascals, Doreen the Weasel and Claubert, the Barbarian, I guess. And David went off and started laying out some thoughts in the world of The Last Dryad. It's going to be 6 pages. He'll pencil layout, and then I will come in behind and do some inking and go from there. But David, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you, Kurt. Just on the character, I guess sketch designs, whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back and added your suggestions, which I am going to, but on the panels that I did send, right?
Yeah.
So I went through the story, and I drew the panels, some of the panels that to a certain point that came easy to me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, with some ideas which I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
And so first off would be this one, right? It looks like a candle. So I'm having a bit of trouble getting them to where the Dryad is at, right? Or to the beginning of the Dryad where we see the old man,
right?
Where we think it's the Druid, or if we're going that route.
Right.
But the old man is there, right?
Right.
So the doorways, the passageways through the labyrinth, how would we make it? Would we have to show every the seven doorways that they're going through? Because it's 7 entrances before or 6 before they get to the main main one, right?
Right.
So I was just going through some ideas. You probably have a better idea than I do, but I was like, maybe we can have it where the doorways can be different shapes, and this one is shaped like a shell, right? So I had different shapes just to kind of so it won't be like they're going through the same doorway, right? How
That's
would we differentiate
that's
that?
awesome.
And and also I was like, okay, if we don't go with that idea of different shaped doorways, we can have like I think it's called mnemonic association for like numbers. So the candle would be like number one, door one, right?
Ah,
And then door two would be something like maybe a serpent shaped as two or whatever. I don't know. But we can do it that way. Or if you have a different idea, like we probably don't even have to show that. I don't know. I don't know which way to go with it.
I'll tell
I'm
you
kind of
right.
stuck
I'll tell
there,
you
you
right
know?
now what you have right here. Obviously, some text is going to be able to help us.
Yes.
Make those things. Step along. But I
Yeah.
love that idea of seven doorways because
Yeah.
it could be easy as they blah blah seven doorways, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
to the center, blah blah blah,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know, and then could be a page turn to where the the druid is blah 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 blah, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Now I
Okay.
just want to once again repeat, in the description below is a link to David's Instagram. I I could probably I could go into a folder of just stuff I've printed out that David has sent me, of course. But David has a
Yeah.
very panel perspective in comics. And what I really mean is that he plays around with the juxtaposition of an image to an image to an image in just a warm up sense. And he posts these on Instagram.
Yeah.
And this was one of the initial things that attracted me to David's work before I even reached out to contact him about working with me on the CROM Collected, a revised edition. So I cannot be any more happy and satisfied, David, with you doing
Yeah.
what you do best in thinking. And I think we even
Well,
talked
thanks.
about this, and I'll bring it back up again because
Mhm.
I think the other thing is that we share such a strong bond with Heavy Metal Magazine and even
Yeah.
The European
Oh
underground and
yes. Yes.
truly independence, which is taking this artsier way of approaching. And to subtext artsy, it's chance. Like let me
Yeah.
throw
There you go.
these things here and see what happens. Even in the sketching part, because
Yeah.
in comic books, the relationship of these panels, let's say just for the seven doorway context, is one thing,
Yeah.
but there's still things that are going to come before. There's still things that are going to come
Oh
after
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
page, as well as, before the page. So once again, six
Yeah.
pages is what we're talking about. And so therefore we have, the wholeness of those stories. So you as a master panelist, you know, is is
Thanks, Kurt.
is just I'm already getting that. I mean, not just to jump to this six
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
panels.
Sure.
This is comic books. This is
Yeah.
number one, how a comic book is made. This is how it works. It's it's
Yeah.
six gridded, 5 inch by 5 inch on a 10 by 15 piece of paper, and in the panels, you're sequentially moving me, the reader, through something that then I emotionally create a context to, and then go from there. But the gutter, is where the magic is. So you have,
Yeah.
just this is in context with our the Last Dryad story,
Yes.
and this is Clob Hair, and this is Doreen the Weasel. This is a doorway. This is some vegetation which they're moving through. This is vegetation which they're moving through. And then this is the walling system in the Druid circle that you come through and everything. Like come on, man. Like all we have to do at this point is try to create some appropriate text, that kind of puts it through. But as artsy as you can kind of want to get, like, here you go, and
Right.
and it doesn't have a talking head sense to it either.
Yeah.
And now
I'm trying to avoid that.
What page? This was like a page 1-ish, 2-ish kind of thinking, right?
Yeah. There you go. It was like page 2, because the page 1 is them. Remember we had them coming down from Gallows Hill.
Yep, I have that here.
It's coming down from Gallows Hill, and then this would be that second page maybe.
Yep. Yeah. And we were even talking about that perspective, and then coming from there.
Yes, that's right.
And
exit. Yeah.
And this, just so everybody does understand the context to CROM, this is CROM adjacent world building. So these are two characters that David and I, through past episodes, have sort of giggled our way through on how we would get them, either being discussed in a CROM story or, be adjacent inside the CROM story, like in the background and stuff like that. So, this is one of the things I've reached out once again to work with David on. So, yes, I mean, this is. Yeah. Tell me more about this page. Like what your intention is, and whether you feel like you're hitting it or not.
Okay. So like the first panel, right? That would be from the perspective of the inside looking out. So we can have like them walking towards the entrance, right?
Back here?
So that was
here?
my yes. Okay. Yes. Right there. Or it could be flipped, we can have it where they're entering
right
through the side we're looking through,
right,
and we can put shadows there or whatever. And there's some there's not a whole lot of dialogue, but the places where there is dialogue, I was thinking this could be one of them, right? I mean, I wanted to draw Doreen here closer. I mean, we still can, but this was kind of a fast thing. So she whispers in his ear, right? And then she's afraid or whatever, and then he like gets her and he shakes her,
right.
So I would still have to draw that, but this right here was mostly just to try to get a sense of the story. This is not necessarily what I've planned for page 2. This is more so I can get a sense of the story. So I drew like a bunch of little panels, so I can get some characters down, maybe a representation of the doorway down here. I'm still playing with ideas, and so I sent these to you, so with the intent of maybe getting some feedback from you as to what you like for like doorway and stuff like that.
Right, which goes back to this.
Yes.
Right.
And also like this panel here is them seeing the doorway for the first time of the maze, right?
Right.
And
yeah, because
so
this could go from here to here.
Okay. Yes.
There could be I'm not saying that's how it's going to be. I'm just saying the logic, because we have her in her hood, and then here she is in her hood reaching out, and then here, and then moving along. Because this was the kind of like speculative 6-page layout for what we were kind of looking for. And one of the things too I threw in there is I don't want descriptives. The panels have got to carry the weight on their own. We don't need anybody saying, here's the doorway, here's the ancient doorway, here's the archaic, you're talented enough to, and you're also even showing off the depth and artsiness of thinking. But, we've got to keep them moving, because there is some really wonderful bantering, which you already have spoken to because of the
Yeah.
here it is right
Oh
here,
yeah.
where
Yeah, like
Doreen the
he shakes
Weasel.
her in her.
Yeah. I'm scared. Like,
Right.
I'm the big one. I'm the one that's killed.
Yeah.
You don't even know how to kill. So I'm bringing you along just
Yeah.
because, you saved my ass on the gallows. This whole bantering, which will be in juxtaposition to, these graphic panels of where they're at and where they're
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that scene's in my mind. So like he shakes her and her hood can come off, and then like whatever other panel there is, she can be putting the hood on just for like an extra action in the panels when they're
going.
speaking.
Right. Yeah, you got a 1
Um,
and then a 2. Right. Cool.
yeah, and this panel here I'm showing this would be like they're entering the maze, right? They'd be entering
Yes.
the maze for the first time.
So
And
this could be, you got this going to here.
mm-hmm.
So this
Yeah.
is still. I'm just going to put this in page 2, right? No, 3,
Mm-hmm.
3. And this is all. This is not concrete at all. So you and
No,
the audience need to be aware. This is not concrete because not at the end of this episode. I'm not going to be like, all right, David, you've got your marching orders. Let's see these things get rid of it. I'm not pulling that crap. So, and we've got plenty of time.
Boy.
Yeah, we're not doing that. And I don't want to diminish anybody's excitement about CROM Anthology. The first issue after we've I've gotten CROM Collected out, but I'm not predicting this thing being done by the end of this year. Like I know by the end of the year, it's going to be chock full of like what I would like to see resolved. But my I'm still standing by my feeling that I want people to participate as creatives, yet not feel like they're in a publishers mists. Like, oh, I better make Kurt happy because if Kurt's not, I'm not the one you're not making this for me. Although you are in my own greedy little ways, but it is for reaching out and finding other people that are like us and want to see more stuff like that. So
and this way, I think you get the best of me because if I'm rushing, oh my god,
it's just
going to be
you
a mess,
get nothing out of anybody rushing. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so this panel here, if we go with because they in the story they describe it as they're going through these narrow entrances, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so if it's narrow, they're gonna have to be squeezing themselves. At least Clobhair would be squeezing himself through it. But that is only if we go the narrow route, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess would promote more action, maybe. But yeah, I mean, what do you think?
A very good point because I did this randomly. Like you sent me separate files and I just dumped them into Photoshop, opened up an 11x17, and then just started randomly dropping them in, not knowing anything, until we got here on the CROM update. But yes, looking at these panels in comparison to him moving through. Even if this panel is like, number 2 here, I'm just going to say still page 3, which could be the last panel, I might say, right?
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles. But, the lack of action, as you said, in, let's say, the top half, it jumps up a little bit, like, we gotten through, let's say this is doorway 5 or 6 or something like that. Then you have this last panel where there's this extreme
Yeah.
action kind of in there. So there would be a would you like to try to play around with this one more time in depth to,
Yeah.
like even the placement of Doreen, she's being like, I don't know if I can even get through here. How are you going to get through here? That kind of thing. And, his hands are on his hip. I mean, that's a little bit more action than just, big guy, little guy,
Exactly.
big guy, little guy, that
Yeah.
type of thing. But I
cool.
don't want to lose the shaping of the doorways. But at the same time, I know you're going to keep playing with them because, once again, I'm not like, okay, these are doorways to stay with these. I like the nope. It's just the how they're going to interplay and move through.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I mean, it could be like hand over here, and then club hair, here, and then like she's got a hand on his shoulder, to get to get through.
Cool.
That's to me enough action, and especially I'm playing completely off of this, that type of thing. But going back, once again, I just want to talk about like style is one thing, but just your approach in paneling. We're depending. I'll say. Let me back up. Not we. You're depending on the juxtaposition of what's going on in 6 panels to get something across. I would even say that one of these could be replaced with another piece of juxtaposition, and it could even be. It could even be. This one could even be characters. So this side is place, right? This is the place, right?
Yeah.
And these are the characters. So there's a constant play back and forth of them and it that in that place.
Yeah. I like
and then
that makes sense.
What if here's even something crazier. Like, what if this is like a little more like teeth or something? There's just some little element in there. It's drooling and it's dripping something, but it's just a really tiny element where there's like danger, but this is danger that is very you got to pay attention because then we go to this panel. Let's say this is page 4, panel 1, right? Where now all of a sudden you got boots, boots moving. You could even put another boot here, and then there's this squeak, 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 and Doreen is something, who, what, blah 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 is going on in there, because that's the ending. This is the stuff that leads to the ending, but it can be in juxtaposition with something like this, so it doesn't like that. Yeah. Oh man, what are you showing there?
Oh, it's the same page. I didn't send you the whole page.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know if I sent you the smaller one.
Yeah, you did. You're cruel, David. You're cruel. But I'm gonna. yes, I have that one.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that was another maybe iteration of them seeing the maze for the first time, right? So I'm playing with ideas. I'm still playing with ideas of the first time we see the maze.
Yeah, I love that portrait of Clauber. I love that. That's. Oh man, that is great. Can you pull it? Can you show the top? Can you show the top of that page?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pull it down. Pull it down. Yeah, go up to the top. Those boot. Okay, cool. Okay, I see what it is. All right, I got you. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Wow. So here, one of the last, I think our last episode, you were expressing some questions about the maze itself. because
Oh yes,
I had
yes,
made
yes.
a suggestion, like I just want to say, like, we're at sort of a panel, the page 4,
Mhm.
page 4, where did I just write that down? Where did I put it? Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so you got this squeaking, in the shrubs, against the walls and everything like that. So they're
Right.
entering in page 4. I was going on about this, like, that's the wall, um, like, you would be looking down. You got a bird's
Mhm.
eye
Okay.
view. We're looking down, and then you got Clobhair, and then Doreen. So you're only seeing um, pieces of them, but you get
Okay.
now um, uh, the juxtaposition of those panels through really only a page and a half at this point, because by the time we get to page 5, oh
Mhm.
no, what do you need? Yeah, it would be like a page split between 4 and 5. The exit was panel 1 of page 5. Have
Okay.
you
The
did you
exit into the main.
exactly where the druid's going to be? So
Okay.
the druid, this is
Oh,
where
got it.
the druid is.
Yeah.
So from that last time, has anything come across your thoughts, or is there like I don't want to deal with that kind of
Yeah. Uh,
design?
uh, for the exit
No,
point,
for the entering the
or
maze, like having a page where it's just top down and you're
Mhm.
just zigzagging. Like the whole page would just be literally like the top of the maze for design, but it would just be their
Oh, bird's eye.
heads,
Okay.
but you would still have to
Okay.
try to create, like, there'd be a cutoff point of action, but there would be an
Yeah.
inference to that. I mean, even
Okay. So
even the small little window holes and the vegetation and the rubble, the
yeah.
breaking down of the wall.
Okay. So maybe I didn't understand the first time, but you're talking about okay. So a bird's eye view of the full
Maze.
maze,
Correct.
right? So we can
Correct.
get a sense of where. And so we were talking about it being circular because that's what it is in the story, right?
Correct. Correct.
It's like a okay, okay, yes. I had forgotten about it,
No
so
worries. No,
let me go in.
I just wanted it to be clear between the two of us whether
Okay, yeah.
we were abandoning an idea, which is
No,
fine,
no, no.
which is fine.
Mm,
But, we can come to another place to find another idea,
yeah.
or I think one of the toughest things, and I'm speaking for myself, David, about working in comic books,
Yeah.
is the refinement process. In other words,
Mhm.
I have no problems coming up with ideas and solutions. And
Right.
I don't ever have writer's block. I don't ever wake up
Yeah.
without idea. It's always the opposite.
Right.
I have to, like, literally prioritize every day what it is I'm going to do with a piece of paper and a list and some
Yeah.
notifications. But I still struggle inside my own work, which I'm now enjoying working with you. The ability to look at something and say, hey, that's a really good idea, or that's a really great idea, but it's not
Mm.
working. It's not going to fit.
Yeah.
It's
That's it.
not, it's
Mm.
too juxtapositioning of
Yeah.
elements in an artsy fartsy way, which is going to take away the flow of 6 pages, because it's only 6 pages. It's going to take us
Yeah.
it's
That's
going to
right.
take us a lot of time to make these pages, but it's only going to take a matter of like a minute and a half, 3 minutes tops to get through the
Right.
page. But
Right.
we don't want there to be a page where they're like, they're doing this, which just happened before. You're like, huh?
Oh yes,
What?
yes, yes.
Wait a second.
Confusion.
What's That's a pretty. Is this a separate story? Like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Jake and I have come
Okay.
across a couple of '80s comics. Jake just reviewed one for Comics That Influence on our Turbo channel, where we spent, I think, 5 minutes trying to figure it out, and then we
Wow.
decided now you got 5 more minutes out of us in your comic book, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it is poor decision making, either in layouts or just that kind of thing. So I just want that out there, that
Exactly.
if I throw ideas out because you're the man that's doing all the grunt work in the layout penciling phases, where you're not feeling the flow, you know, that's
Okay.
that's
All right. Well,
that's yours.
All right. Let me go in and do that and see how it looks. I still have to what do you put these coherently on page 2,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So let me do the maze. I was even thinking maybe we don't have enough space to do the full maze, so we can cut off where the actual Dryad is at, right? And just to kind of save it for the end. So we could just do maybe like a half of the maze, or maybe go ahead.
Yeah, no. I am totally with you because page 5 really is the whole scene with the druid. So it's the old man
Yeah,
druid. So you've got
exactly.
you know you know. And once again, if we've got a punched page in, we got to go 7 pages. It's the same
Yeah,
as 6 pages is too long. Let's go to 5. You know, it's the same. It's
yeah,
the same
yeah. Okay.
editing process that we both need to be very aware of, because we have
Yeah,
two things that we're not going to talk about in this episode, because you are right. We're going to let you get 4 pages, let's say, David, in
yeah.
through the
Okay.
maze, let's say, right? Well, let's just see what we can come up with there.
Yeah.
But
There
the
you go.
last
Mhm.
2 pages, if not 3 pages, is the druid's the interaction with the druid, and of course we've
Mhm.
already talked about sexy time with the Dryad herself. So we don't
Yeah.
want to be like not really playing around with this element, which is the focus of the whole
Okay.
story. Because the story was
Right.
originally the Last Druid, but you and I
Mhm.
have kept coming across the idea that this is a Dryad goddess, that the
Yeah.
whole enclosure maze temple-ish kind of thing is built around her, and she most
Yeah.
definitely has a control over it, if you will. So,
Yeah.
like
There
a
you go.
spider's web
Cool.
could be another way of looking at
Ah, there you go.
it.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll save that
Yeah.
till our next get together.
Okay.
But I don't want to overthink it. I don't want to overtalk it. I also don't want you in a
Yeah.
position where you're going like, "Jeez, how much am I supposed to be doing here for 4 silly pages, Kurt?" Like, I think you have enough, right? Am I correct that you have enough?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I have enough
you
for
can
the
always
second.
reach out to me, as you have, emailing me and bouncing little things together.
Okay.
But I really do love getting together on the CROM updates, and
Yeah. Me too.
getting people teased out. And
Right.
before I do like a closeout, do you have anything with the Last Dryad that you want in discussion with me right now?
Um.
Question or anything like that?
Well, no. Just going back to the bird's eye view of the maze.
Yep.
I think that would also serve serve me because I can see like the layout of the maze,
Good.
right?
Yep.
And it's almost like blueprint. So I
Yes.
can see where my characters are going to be at all instances. So yeah,
Yep.
that's a great suggestion.
Okay.
And I think last time maybe I didn't understand, maybe I forgot it, but anyways, I'm
I
all in
I
for
was
now.
I was only giving you you were questioning the design of the maze. I was
Yeah,
double timing it with like the panel structuring. So I was looking at
yeah,
that looseness in these pages 3 and 4 as something that you could play around with design wise.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think
No,
we've
that's great.
actually found a better place to compromise ground wise.
Okay, sounds good.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. That's all I have for today.
Awesome. Because you have got some other stuff in the works, and you sent
Yes.
that over. You're working with your brother, but I mean
Yeah.
this, and well, I'm only bringing this up because I'm interested in the CROM Anthology, collecting people's work, but also help promoting them for other material. Because
Awesome.
David
Yeah.
right now has a comic book he's working on. Now, your company is kind of Pariah Comics, and the flagship comic
Yes.
would be Pariah Comics. Is that correct?
We still got to
Still got,
go
okay.
and
No worries, no worries. I still
yeah,
want to.
we still got to go and make some decisions.
Okay, okay. Because
But
I idealistically, and you're the first one to hear this,
yes.
that if I'm publishing anybody in the comic CROM Anthology, I want it to sample your work in order for other people to scan a QR code. For instance, right
Oh,
now, going back at the end here, each of the artists has
that's
got a
right.
double
Yeah.
page spread. David Molina, you can scan that QR code with your phone, and you'll go directly to his Instagram. Okay, because that's where Pariah
Yeah.
Comics right now lives. And as I said earlier, David is constantly doing paneling and comic book structuring and play and stuff. But this is really the biggest takeover. The biggest thing I'm pushing over to CROM Anthology is that working with or spotlighting somebody's work in CROM Anthology, it leads to more of that person's work. So I
Yeah.
put that
Cool.
challenge on me, as well as the first, I don't know, maybe half of CROM Anthology will be CROM material, but then the back matter will be that supporting stuff, Apocalypse,
Yeah. Awesome.
Barbarians, and just general
Oh yeah.
general good old fashioned heavy metal magazine and stuff to that extent. So
Yeah.
I want to keep
Yeah.
that. I want to keep your uh, workflow in what you're also working on. This be a platform
Yeah.
that you can speak to it and everything. So
Awesome. Yeah.
all
So
right.
next time we're on, I think we'll do that.
Excellent, excellent. I'm excited for it. So we've already teased them out for the next CROM updates with David Molina. But other than that, everybody, August 1st of 2024, the revised edition, 144 pages, black and white. It's in three exciting sections. The first section is CROM's youthful years, which are the four stories that I did. I've included CROM, The Barbarian, the original by Gardner F. Fox. Where are you? Gardner F. Fox's Adventurers years. And then we have a third section, which I call the Transforming Years of CROM, which is an illustrated prose based on a pulp story from 1953 called Warlocks of Sharador by Gardner F. Fox. And then I just converted it into a good old fashioned sword and sorcery with CROM placement and characters and such. So, and can't talk more. Cannot be more excited to share for the limited time. For 1 month of August, there's covers that are pinups that were generated by guest artists David Molina, Ken Landgraf, Adam Dodds, Jason Schoonover, and the Drawn Sword. So
Awesome.
I'm just super excited. I also just want to take one more moment and thank David for playing in the CRUM comic book sandbox with me. So, and we're looking forward to more playful times. So, with that, we'll let these people
Yes,
get
sir.
back to reading comics, making them if they choose. You got anything on the outs, David?
No, just thank you, Kurt, for all you're doing, and fucking excited.
Awesome. You're welcome. And we'll talk soon again.
Thank you.